Get him, get him.
Oh my God!
Calm down. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, dude!
Dude.
6 pounds, 11 ounces. Oh,
Oh my. Limp. That's what I've been waiting for all day.
that's over 6.
And that one's.
Oh, here he goes.
Go. Good?
That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail. Yeah, it looks sick. Good to go.
Look how broad that thing is.
I wonder if that was the one that followed me in.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Holy sh! God. What a beast.
Oh wow. That might be a
Dude.
4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4. You guys show that off too. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy.
Another good one.
Holy sh! What the? Is that another 6?
Could be.
It's a second giant of the day, proving that point. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes!
Big baits, big fish. There we go. 5 pounds, 6 ounce. Beauty! Dude, I'm not even joking. It happened again.
Kidding me?
Nope.
Is it big?
Oh! That's strong.
Oh wow.
That's a fat fish, dude.
4.
Holy. Dude. Holy hell, that's long.
Yeah, it is.
5, 4, 6. What?
Yeah.
Just rock.
Got him. Get in here, you. There's
There's another 6. You. That's a big fish.
6'10".
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Little fatty.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Well, that was a quick intro.
That was a very quick intro. It goes back fast when we're all talking. I really hope everything sounds good, looks good. Keep us posted, obviously, if there's any issues. Otherwise, we'll get into it. Hope everybody's doing well on this crap weather day. Beautiful nor'easter, as usual, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Welcome to New England, everybody. The weather sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, all right. There's a couple things that I do want to go through before we get started, and I'll put the link up after. But first off, for everybody that's here already, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you as always. One of the things I want to put up is a link to our Shopify for all of our apparel that's still up there. And obviously, there's no hoodies, but there are T-shirts, plenty of hats, still some decals. And one thing, this is now 2 years, the last year and the year before, we talked about doing a long sleeve hooded UV shirt. I have 2 samples coming. So I have a total of 3. I already got 1 sample. It's not bad. It's just not the fit that I was looking for because I want something closer to like what FXR offers for a fit. And so I got 2 different samples coming. They should be either tomorrow or Friday, depending on how the storm rolls out. And then from there, I'll make a decision and we'll start going forward from there. So there we go. I'll put up the link to the Shopify there in a moment. Other than that, for everybody that is here, obviously, again, thank you very much. Anybody that shared this on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you guys are awesome. I thank you very, very much for doing that. For those that haven't done anything like that, there's still other things you can do. Whether you're watching here on YouTube or on Facebook, doesn't matter. Leave a like wherever you're watching. For those that, you're thinking further ahead, if, the more shares we get, it helps immensely. It's just continuing to drive traffic, which is awesome. And whether it's on your own page or you share it to like any of the fishing groups, like any of those things are awesome. But even as simple as just leaving a like on something, if you're coming back and watching this after the live, leaving a comment of some kind, I respond to literally everything, unless it's someone calling out a specific spot. I don't touch those, and sometimes I delete them, depending upon what spot they call out. But other than that, for anybody that's willing to do that, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you as always. And I have some other exciting news. I am back with Luz for Reels Only, which is awesome. Had a nice conversation with Al Cappy, who is the New England sales rep for Rather Outdoors, and still had a lot of good things to say about our previous relationship with Luz. And it was good until they kind of well, it doesn't really matter, like, what everything happened. Obviously, there's no hard feelings and nothing malicious. It's just what happened. Still with Douglas, so the rods aren't going away, but I'm back with Lose now for reels, which is friggin' awesome, because I'm still literally using everything Lose. With one exception, I did buy a different brand not too long ago. But other than that, literally everything else I own is still Lose. So I'm excited. I'm very happy and stoked to be doing that.
Go Hypermags.
Yeah, Hypermag Custom Light is the other one that we were using a lot that we were really thrilled with for casting setups. But then also both of those for spinning setups are just chef's kiss.
Due to my own destructiveness, I blew all the brakes out of my Custom Light. But it still casts a mile, and it's an amazing reel.
Dude, it really does. So I'm excited to be back with them and happy to see how this goes for the rest of the year and revisit it all next year as well. But I'm stoked. Now we got to update the banner. We're going to make more room in there. I'm going to have to rethink how that banner looks. It's starting to get a little tight in there for space. Let me talk about two other things, sponsorship related too, while we're talking about sponsors and everything. 3 things. Lose, lots of options available down at Ben's Tackle Shack in Leicester, Mass, or you can get to them online, benstackleshack.com. Ben and Dan down there are friggin' phenomenal. Again, they just got restocked and everything, so they don't have just all the reels, but they have a ton of tackle as well. And they also have Douglas rods down there. So kind of 1-2 whammy. You go pick up a Lose reel, and you go pick up a Douglas rod. You can look at them both down there. You reach out to us at any point if you have any questions. Happy to answer them. You can also reach out to Mr. Oliver Nye if you have any Douglas rod related questions. He's happy to be spammed by anybody and everybody and all of your questions. Love you, Oliver.
He loves his phone getting blown up.
And kind of going further down that road, obviously FXR has been repping them for several years. If you like, the offer is always out there, and if you have already heard about this and you have friends that are asking, like, please let them know. Reach out to us. We have a discount code we cannot publicly disclose because it is stupid good, and I promise you, it is better than 90% of all the pro staff deals that sticker pirates get, and that's the one that we can share. So if that doesn't tell you how good it is, I don't know how else to put it other than for you to reach out to us privately and we can share it there. It is significant. It applies to anything on their Pro Fish line and anything that's current year. That's the only caveat. It's got to be from this model year release. Other than that, anything within there is fair game. That's good.
I want to know what Spam Masubi is.
Spam Masubi. Last but not least, we have Waterland as well. Code Reel Northern gets you 15% off. Okay, we're done. With all of that, I have a text message. Kevin.
That is the one.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty dope.
You can't see this.
No, you can't. We got a picture of the samples. Thank you, Kevin.
That one's sick.
That's pretty dope. I'll have to think about that. The only downside of that is it takes away from the original thing I did.
Yeah.
And I think I want it to be with the new logo anyway. The OG.
Yes.
We'll discuss. We'll put it to a vote. See how it goes.
One butt cheek should be a smaller. The other butt cheek should be a largie.
That would be awesome.
Whatever. Get a cardboard box and a workout ball.
What are you talking about?
Butts.
Kevin, I like it. I did see one that I want to grab really quick. Massing and bassing. Does FXR have a lighter weight rain suit for the summer? I'm good on cold weather gear, but it's too warm. Yes, they just have the Tri-Laminate Vapor Pro, or the Vapor Pro Tri-Laminate. I always get the mixed up which way is which. Phenomenal rain gear. Andrew and I have been using that exclusively since we picked them up. That was actually the very first gear that we got before we got any of the insulated stuff. And it's awesome. And it's highly breathable while still being extremely waterproof. So even like when it's 90 degrees out, but you don't want to get soaked when you're bouncing away across Winnie during a tournament on a Sunday, we put it on, and it's comfortable when you're running, because regardless of how breathable anything is, you're still wearing rain gear in the middle of the summer, and it can get uncomfortable. But as soon as you start running, it's fine. It's great. And all of that, the bibs and the jacket, awesome. I can't say enough good things.
Cold weather gear, oh my Lanta. I have gone through a few pair of bibs, and these are by far the best, the warmest. Like, I gotta take like the inner liner out because it gets so hot, even on like the coldest days that we're out fishing. And I just got the new jacket, the winter jacket that they have, and I used to wear, I don't even know what, I used to wear my rain jacket with like 2 hoodies under it, just because that's all I had.
Yeah.
And I got their the Vapor, whatever, I forget the name of it.
The newest one you just got?
Yeah.
It's the Vapor Pro, but it's like the light. I think it's just Vapor Pro Insulated is what it's called.
Right.
And it's a light insulation. It's not like the ice fishing gear insulation. It's a rated 4 from warmth, whereas like all the proper ice fishing gear is rated for like 8 or 9.
Right. Well,
out of 10.
It is honestly the most comfortable, like, winter jacket that I've ever worn in my life. And it's waterproof, and it floats, just like the bibs do.
Yes.
And I highly recommend it.
Can't say enough good things. You might need to pick your mic up just a wee bit, or at least point it up so it's just like aiming at your chin. Easy.
I'll just move down.
Mike did ask, have you got your hands on the ERA rods yet, or the Era rods? Yes, we have. We got to fish them a little bit up on Champlain with Mr. Sean Miller, who's in the chat, and Christian, the sales rep there. Well, I actually don't remember the exact title of his role, but he works for Douglas. But,
sales rep, cool, guitar player.
Yeah, all those things.
Awesome
Swim bait
dude.
slinger.
Yeah.
Big bait slinger. They're phenomenal for the price point. What they're going to selling these rods at, can't say enough good things about them. And there was one more before we really truly get into it. I just saw it. He's down here at the bottom. Where'd you go? Silverhook Academy. What's up, guys? Thanks again for Saturday, Sean. You're very welcome. I guided a client on Saturday, Mr. Silverhook Academy. The idea was to go out and give him a lesson and hopefully catch a bunch of fish on jackhammer, bladed jigs in general. That bite was not happening. We did try though. We tried extensively, but jerkbait, that was on, and we were happy to do that. And we got into a mega school of crappie.
Jesus,
I didn't even get to finish telling you about this. So at one point in this, maybe I did tell you this. Like literally that day we caught the 100 crappie. I was fishing that same spot. I spot locked and I took my active target, started panning around. And from 12 o'clock,
you told me,
dead ahead, 30 feet away from the boat, out to 90 and beyond to the 90, for what I had my range set to, was all crappie from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And they were stacked from the bottom all the way to the surface, like within inches of the surface. It ended up being crappie and yellow perch. One of the biggest friggin' bait balls I've seen that wasn't smelt. Wild. Absolutely wild.
Dude, I wish I was there to see that.
Dude, it was nuts. It was so good.
How was I doing? Was I working?
Yeah, it was Saturday that happened. Then you and I went out Sunday.
Yes.
Because we had less time. Otherwise, because you had to be back for Easter dinner.
Right.
If we didn't have that time restriction, we would have went right back there.
Yeah.
It would have been good.
I want to get on a good crappie bite.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. You got me hooked on it. I can't get past how fun it is.
Dude, it's amazing.
Well, and he had never been on it, so we're never been on a real good consistent one. So I was like, dude, when we get into it, we're good. And I remember watching him load up one. He's like, oh my god, that thing hammered it, and it's just a big slab crappie. He was like, all right, yeah, that was fun.
You hammer it, fight for about 3 seconds, and then you drag him in like a wet boot.
Yep. I tell you what, that big fish I caught, I didn't even weigh it because it was so skinny, but it was probably only like 3.5 pounds, even though it was long. And if she were filled out, she probably would have been 4.5. And I might be underselling a little bit because that was a long damn fish. Just she lacked any and all weight.
It was super. It looked super long.
Very long. Like that, if she had any weight to her, like any girth to her whatsoever, that would have been 4+ all day long.
Well, when I got the picture you sent me, I was like, oh, nice. Sean got a 4.
You know what? For all I know, it could have been because it certainly had the length. I saw how skinny it was. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw her back. I'm not going to bother.
Whatever.
Not the end of the world. If it looked closer to a 5, yeah, I would have waited. But whatever.
I think my Bubba scale is bad juju. Every time I bring it, we don't get shit.
It might be. I don't know. Silverhook even said I think it was closer to 4. I'll go 3 3/4. I'll give it that. I think that's fair given how long the thing was. But it's all good. There was something else I was about to say, and I totally lost my train of thought. But it was something I saw. Doesn't matter. Let's get into the heart of this because we've already been talking about everything else for 15 minutes. Team tournaments.
Teaminance.
Yeah.
Turpentine.
We can't speak well, but we can fish really well together. So this was a topic idea that came from you guys. We had asked several weeks ago for a bunch of topic ideas. My buddy Chris was in the background. You can't see him, you can't hear him, but he was taking notes, and I was reviewing it the other night, and I was like, ooh, that was one of the comments was tell us or give us what was it? Give us tips on team tournament fishing, like how you approach it, something to that effect. And I was like, wow, that's actually perfect for us to cover because you and I do exceptionally well fishing together.
One thing, real quick. Alec, just kidding about the Bubba scale. Bubba scale is amazing. It is absolutely the best scale ever.
I want to buy one. I want to buy that fancy color one.
The $200 one?
Yeah.
Okay, do it. We have them in stock at Bass Fishing Electronics.
Ooh, online too, right?
I believe so.
Gotta be.
Yes.
BassFishingElectronics.com. Those guys are awesome. Oh, one last thing. Congrats to our buddy John Levesque.
Yes.
Levesque?
Levesque.
Levesque.
As they say.
What are the other iterations? I want to make sure we cover them all.
So he came into my work today and he's like, yeah, he did it with a hard K. Levesque. But yeah.
Congrats to John. He won the 2024 Bass Federation National Championship, which is friggin' phenomenal. Like, that is
gave him a
task.
$125,000 check and a brand new Ranger 520R.
Which is so collectively about $200,000 total winnings.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah, probably a little more. Well, there wasn't that much on that Ranger. It was fairly stripped.
Yeah.
And it's a 20-foot versus a 21. So that's why I'm thinking
the 20 is better than the 21.
You convinced me to buy a 21. Shut up.
Well, your nitro's a little different.
But no, seriously, dead congrats to him, man. Like that is phenomenal, especially coming from a New Hampshire angler. Not that really makes any difference other than it's cool to see more New Hampshire guys succeeding out there on the tournament trail, and especially on the biggest stages. So definitely awesome to see him win that, especially last year. He led days 1 and 2 and then came up a little short day 3 and finished second in the tournament. So for him to go back, which if I remember correctly, he went back to the national championship back to back to back 3 years straight. And last year he finished second, and this year he won the whole damn thing.
And he has more to come too, so just keep an eye out. It's going to be sick for him.
Yep.
Super stoked.
All right. Oh, wait. What do you know that I don't?
I can't tell you.
I can't tell him anything about videos then. All right. I do have one more thing. I promise the last thing, and then we're going to get to the tournament stuff. My son drew this, and he asked that I share it. So this is me and the whole family fishing at sunset.
I didn't even see. At sunset?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, fishing. Well,
I thought you were talking about the pond.
No. At sunset, the time of the day.
That's awesome.
And he was very proud of this. And I feel bad because I meant to show this like 3 weeks ago when he drew it. And I ended up putting papers on top of it because I work remote 2 days a week. And I stuffed something on top of it. So I didn't get to share this yet. But he did a great job. I'm very proud of him.
Sure did.
Okay, let's talk team tournament stuff. So
we fish tournaments together as a team.
We do.
We will see you guys next weekend.
Have a great night. Open topic night. What do you want to talk about? I've been talking too much. It's your turn. Well, but I'll throw you a question to simplify this. What is it that we do best that you can tell other people that they should be working on?
We can pivot on a dime.
Damn right. What about before that, though?
Before that? So when we do tournaments, we try to figure out the bite as soon as possible, especially if we don't get the chance to pre-fish. Like Sean will say he picks up a jig. I'll pick up a drop shot, which is unlikely, but
yeah, usually
you guys get the idea. We'll start fishing, like he'll start fishing deep. I'll start throwing towards the bank, or we'll just do polar opposite techniques until we figure out the bite. And then as soon as we figure out the bite, boom, we can both switch what we're doing and hop on that technique and know exactly what to do and how to do it because we communicate so well on the water. I just sound like a robot right there.
No, but you're right. And that's the biggest thing is that we both understand what we prefer to do, but I wouldn't necessarily say that we have strengths and weaknesses of one over the other. The only thing that I think I might do better than you is maybe drop shot, maybe, and even that's a stretch. And then same, like the only thing I know you definitively do better than me is jerk bait, and that's more than confident. Well, it's not just confidence; it's also your results too. So like that's it. Other than that, like we are both pretty much toe to toe as close as one can be to the other with literally everything else. So we know every time we go into a tournament that we already understand because we're friends, like what we like to do first, but what we're also really good at. And then it comes back to his point of
And
being
what
able
we
to pivot.
should do.
Correct. So we know going into a tournament, given the conditions and everything, and whether we pre-fished or not, it's going to be one of like these 6 things. One of these 6 techniques, one of these is going to pay off, right? And we will split it up. And at some point, vast majority of the times, there's something super finesse and there's a jig involved in the mix. And more often than not, I'll start with finesse and I'll let him start with the jig because that's his better preference. As much as that's my preference, I still love throwing a drop shot. So if like that's the go-to thing, and every once in a while we switch off. Sometimes he's like, you know what, I really want to throw a drop shot, and we just roll with that. But for the most part, it would be me fishing drop shot and him fishing jig. And then the other 2 things, we just kind of like, we just communicate because the remainder of it, we're both equally happy and like doing. But we just talk it out. We know ahead of time what those 6 things are going to be, and then we spread it out. And based on what we're seeing, it's like, okay, you throw that, I'll throw this. I'm going to pick this apart, then you throw it apart, or you already picked that apart with this. I'll come back and follow up with that. It makes it a lot easier when you're already friends, but this is still incredibly important if you go into, say, like fishing the BFL, the Major League Fishing's Bass Fishing League, the one-day tournaments that they do in that series. Sign up as a co-angler, or maybe do the Bass Opens, like literally anything. You can sign up as co-angler. It's going to be random draw. As soon as you know who your partner is, you need to have that conversation with them. This is what I excel at, but also what I like to do the most. What is that for you? And find out where there's overlap on that and where there's a wide gap, and understand like you can arrange your tackle ahead of time to take the most advantage out of all of those things so that you are absolutely maximizing trying to break down that pattern as quickly as possible. You do nothing to help yourselves out if you're both out there throwing the same damn jig at the same things over and over again. Unless you're pre-fished and you know that that's just the thing. If you're going in there kind of blind, then you're killing yourselves.
Or if you're throwing the same jig but different color, that's a different story.
Yes, it is. And we have done that literally every time when we're out there for tournaments.
And just fun fishing.
Yep.
We pretty much, when we're fun fishing, it's pretty much we fish the same way fun fishing as we do tournament fishing. You just got to figure the bite out because it's day to day, hour to hour. Like it changes the bite changes all the time.
Yep.
Just like when you're fun fishing, it changes. It's not like you get to tournament and it's going to be the same bite all day long, unless the pattern is docks all day long. But guarantee the morning bite's going to be different than the afternoon bite. It's just always it always is.
Yep. And there's plenty. So on that topic of color, there's been several times we've been in tournaments and like just for example, a jig is going off and it's working, and all of a sudden the bite just kind of doesn't work anymore. And it's like, what changed? And one of us, more often than not, Andrew, will be like, I'm going to slightly change my color, and he'll do something kind of wacky and a little bit different, but still like it makes sense. And he'll rig that, and we know that the jig and that color is already working. So I will stick with it. And sometimes vice versa. Sometimes I'll think, like, you know what, maybe it's just a different color. It doesn't matter. We both do the same thing, just at different times. And it's important that one person makes that change in those instances, not both. Because it could just be that maybe in that particular spot you were fishing, the color that was hammering on one morning is not working at that spot at that time of the day. Don't get away from it until you've completely eliminated, yeah, no, they're not biting that color anymore. That comes back to your very first point, being able to pivot.
It's not something that you just like pick up overnight. You learn it over the years by, I wouldn't say I mastered every technique, but when you master a technique or multiple techniques, you should be able to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next without skipping a beat. You should be able to just pick up a jerkbait, know exactly how to work it. Doesn't mean you figure out the bite yet, but you should be able to figure out the bite within, I'd say, within a half hour to an hour, if in tournament settings. Fun fishing, you got to figure it out anyway, but it's a little more relaxed. Like you're not rushed. There's no time limit to figure out the bite. And then same with jigs. Your trailer could be different. You might have to change your trailer. You may have to change the color of the jig. You may have to change the length of your trailer or the size of the jig, the weight of the jig. Like, could be a 1/4 ounce bite. It could be a 3/4 ounce bite. It all depends on the situation. And we're really good at throwing complete opposites. Like, he'll be throwing a 1/4 ounce hustler. I'll pick up 3/4 ounce jig. and drag it on the bottom, and he'll be like popping it or whatever, and we will figure out the bite that way if it's a jig bite day. Same thing with jerk baits or drop shot or anything. Like the tag length on your drop shot might have to be shorter or longer, or your bait's just dead sticking it, or you're hopping it, or everything matters.
Yep. Freedom Fishing had a really good comment too that further elaborates on everything that we've said in understanding everything that you guys can do and what you prefer to do, what you know you excel at versus what the other person may or may not. Grab that. So top, mid, and bottom, fast and slow, finesse and reaction. I'm going to start with the first part of that because I think that's more important than anything else, more often than not, is not only are we trying to do something relatively different, like different enough that to me it's like two completely different things, even if they're not extremely different, but also attacking the water column differently as well. So I think that's more important first thing in the morning than anything else is, like locking down your weight and your color and what that presentation should be, whether it's bottom and middle. It's trying to figure out something that I said for years when I was really trying to learn, especially with smallmouth. First thing we had to figure out, they're feeding up or they're feeding down. Are they looking up or are they looking down? And that's always kind of a hard thing to figure out with smallmouth. And I don't quite have that same approach now, but for the most part, yeah, it still plays a major part in how I figure out the pattern for the day, especially as you get later into the year, because there's plenty of days you can still, majority of the time, you can catch them off the bottom, but there's still enough days out there where they're not going to feed off the bottom. You're going to get them something up high, whether it's top water, your jerk bait, fishing something really slow through the middle of the water column, whatever.
Spy baits.
Yep.
Freaking Okashiras, anything.
Which, by the way, I did finally throw that on Sunday.
And?
No luck. No dice. I didn't get a single bite after you left.
No.
Nothing, dude. But, like that, if we had to boil everything that we've said down to like a 20-second soundbite to this point, communication with your partner ahead of time is key. Identify and understand what everyone excels at and prefers to do, and diversify who is going to tackle different areas in the water column, or going a little bit further with what Freedom Fishing's saying, different speeds. You know, if you've already done some pre-fishing, you understand what it is you're going after, and you've unlocked most of the answers, even we'll say the day before the tournament, then okay, you know that they want something finesse, but they also are not feeding down, they're kind of feeding in the middle of the water column or up. Then now, okay, you go to that other spot, that other end of the spectrum where you're talking about speed. You're going to fish really, really slow because you're the best at it, and I'm going to fish fast like a maniac because I'm an impatient bastard. So
my mind just goes blank when I throw a jig. It just, oh yeah, oh fish.
So that's the other way to put it. That more than anything will serve you for the vast majority of what you need to learn about. Well, what will help you excel fishing in team tournaments? I would say the other thing still goes in line with communication. To elaborate further on that, you have to clearly communicate what the hell happened when you caught a fish. You need to put it on yourself. Sean, do you also do couple therapy sessions?
Yeah, come on over.
Rum and Coke's ready, bud. That's how we take therapy here. Communication. It is of paramount importance. No, there's another word I was looking for. It doesn't matter. That you pay attention to what you're doing at every moment during the day. So that, especially first thing in the morning, when you're trying to unlock that pattern and figure it out, you need to be hyper aware of what it is exactly that you're doing with every single cast so that you understand what happened when you got a bite. And you need to make sure that you're communicating that to your co-angler so that they understand that. That, I think, is the one thing that you and I do better than most at. We're very hyper aware because we've tuned ourselves, just out of a desire to do so, of what we did every time we caught a fish. With some exceptions. We don't always remember when we're fun fishing.
Right.
But when it comes to tournaments, dude, we don't miss a beat. We know exactly what we were doing.
Every cast is like hyper-focused.
Yep.
Like hyper-focused. Like, am I moving up over this rock too fast? Okay, I'm hung up on the rock. What is that jig doing? Is it rolling up over the rock or is it dragging up over the rock? Like, there's definitely a science to it. Like you gotta know what you're feeling, especially with a jig.
Damn right. But being able to just communicate that back, like, especially, oh my God, especially for that first fish. What did you do?
Like,
okay, well, I know we're fishing
like on
rock
St.
piles.
Catherine last year.
Yeah.
He was fishing the bank, and I was throwing a 1/2 ounce open water sniper up into the grass in about 8 feet of water, and he was fishing down and around probably 25 to 30-ish, I'd
Yeah,
say.
I was casting out deep. I may have been deeper, but aiming for that 25 to 30.
First cast, found a pocket in the grass. Boom, caught a 3.5. Second cast, boom, another 3.5. Like, kind of figured that out, and then like 15 minutes later, that bite just shut off. And then we had to pivot and go try something different, and then we ended up finding more fish. I lost a freaking absolute tank because I didn't set the hook. But we ended up figuring out a pattern and running with it for a little while, and it ended up panning out in our favor. Same as day one.
Yeah.
Or that was
Same as
day two.
day
Sorry.
2 was the same as day 1.
Yeah. But dragging jigs and A-rigs was the ticket for us. And that came day 2. We kind of figured out that A-rig bite day 2, a little later in the day, but it ended up panning out. That's because we tried every other technique and communicated throughout the entire day of what the hell we were doing, and ended up switching over to a different bait and ended up working.
Yep. Bo Potato made the same comment, literally talking about what you said. When we dominate, we are throwing the exact same thing with absolutely no variations except our age. Dude, absolutely. When we get to that point where we're extremely confident we've figured it out, we're literally doing the same thing. And that's the benefit of both of us being extremely comfortable doing really pretty much anything, is once we dial it in, it just doesn't matter what it is. We both are like, hell yeah, all right, let's go. This is what it is. And we'll grab whatever the best setup is for that particular technique that's working on them, and we'll both put on the exact same thing. And we'll like, it's like this constant rotation around the front deck as we're like literally hitting the same spots, because there will always be a little bit slight variation, at least the cadence of your retrieve, regardless of what you're throwing. But for the most part, we're all just we're just working around each other and being completely in sync with what we're doing, and tackling it from whatever our perspective is at that given moment, but still using the same thing and doing damn near the same thing. And
Like,
that's
like
when we have our
we'll
best
come up
tournaments.
onto like a rock pile or something, you see it on the 360, be like, all right, I'll get the left side, you get the right side. And then we'll just kind of meet in the middle, and then we'll swing way out. It's like, all right, I'm just going to bomb this out in the middle of nothing. They could be out there. And then working on the same rock pile, working something over the top of it, or throwing an A-rig at it, or throwing a spy bait at it, or throwing a Demiki over the top of it. Like, we definitely go through a cycle of baits for sure when we're fishing tournaments. It's kind of sickening when you look at the deck of the boat after a tournament.
It's a massacre every time. Dude, especially when we're going for smallmouth. Oh my God. Every time. I'm confident I could go out with 3 things. Drop shot, jig. Okay, I'm confident in 2 things. Drop shot, jig. After that, kind of a crapshoot when I'm going for smallies. Probably at this point now, small swim bait on a light jig head. And just, I know one of those 3 things are going to work at this time of the year. And then late in the year, like one of those drop shot gets replaced by a Demiki rig. They always work without fail. It comes down to color. That's the difference maker. That's like the difference maker at the end of the day, the beginning of the day. And
Color and cadence.
we'll get over the top of the fish. I'll drop my bait down, and I'll watch that thing either smack it or sprint away. Not just turn away, sprint. Like, huh? Okay, that's not the right color. Pick up another color, throw it on. Okay, he didn't quite sprint, but he wasn't coming after it either. All right, try a different color. Now we're kind of, it's going to be one of these 5 colors. I'm confident of that. Go to color number 3. Ooh, now he's actually looking at it. He may never bit. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing from here.
That's
And then move on to the next one and just go through it. But in the first 20 minutes of any like smallmouth only tournament, it looks like a war zone on my front deck, without fail. But that's what I like about
A lot of dead baits.
it. Go ahead, grab that comment from Kevin, please. At what point do we throw the wacky Senko?
You can answer that.
Every time. All the time. I tell you what, I don't like fun fishing.
I won't do it.
I do not like fun fishing because
I won't do it. I'll throw a glide.
it's a dumbass pride thing. There's nothing else to put it. It is the stupidest, easiest thing in the world to do to catch fish. And by that logic, I should be throwing it a lot more often. But I don't like it because it's so brain dead, stupid easy. Bomb it out, watch your line as it sinks, reel it in, repeat. That's it. That's Senko fishing. And I cannot deny that the results are phenomenal, but it's just not the fishing that I want to do.
They are, and I don't. I don't like it.
No.
I will throw when he's throwing that. I'm usually either trying to punch into stuff or I'm throwing a glide bait. And that's about it, or a fluke.
Yep. Oh god, I love throwing a fluke. But with that being said, you're a damned fool if you don't throw it on tournament day. It's one of those things that if I know I'm going for largemouth, I will have a Senko tied on, and in some cases, I'll have two tied on. I'll have a Senko, and I'll have another Senko that's Nico rigged. And I can't hate on it too much because that's how I got my PB. Not for lack of trying with other things. I have the video footage to prove it. I literally used every rod on my deck for 16 and a half minutes, and 2 casts after I picked up the Senko as a last resort. I caught the fish that I saw. It wasn't on a bed. It was in the friggin' September, and I saw her come up and blow up on a bait ball. And I turned around, and for 16 and a half minutes, I cast that fish, and finally the very last thing I picked up was a Nico rig Senko. On my second cast, I caught her. So I can't hate on it, knock on it too much, but dude, I tell you, if I'm going for tournaments, you better believe I'm going to have a Senko tied on, without a shadow of a doubt, and I'm going to throw it pretty often. And there's been plenty of times where it's caught us lunker or damn near lunker, as much as I hate to say it. And if I know I'm going for smallmouth tournaments only, you better believe I'm going to have a Ned rig tied on. Every time.
He will.
Those 2 baits, I refuse to go to a tournament without having them tied on. Because, and this is tip number 3, leave your pride at home. You're spending money and you're trying to win money. And fuck the money. You're out there to try and win. So you leave nothing on the water. You try everything. F your pride, man. Like, regardless of what you think. And the only reason he gets a pass on the Senko is because I'm at least
he'll throw it. and Ned rig, he'll throw that.
Someone on the boat has to bury their pride and be willing to embrace that mentality of do whatever it takes, as long as you're not breaking the rules, obviously. And I hate that I have to say that. I don't think it matters for anybody in here. I believe all of you would be nice, upright, upstanding citizens. So
yeah, don't go shoving weights down fish's throats and using baits you're not allowed to, like the real big Alabama rigs that are like stacked 3 tall that they throw at OHIV and stuff. Like,
oh my god, those things are nuts. Fucking chandeliers.
Yeah.
But that would be the next point. Leave your pride at home. You're spending money. You're spending a lot of time. Not just money on the tournament, but money to get there and get back. Money and gas on the boat. It's a lot of investment. Not just inside of that moment, but all of the time you're spending between travel, time away from your family. Like, dude, there's no time or room or place for pride. You leave that shit at home. You throw whatever it takes to get a bite. And there's been a couple of times where it's been a brutal day where, I mean, nothing's working. And I'll go through 3 different bags of Senkos trying to figure out what color they want just for that. To figure out, like, okay, I know this is going to work at some point because literally everything else isn't working, and this is the last hour of the day. And I'm going to work the stupidest, easiest thing in the world as hard as I can to make it work. Twice, that saved our ass from not having a limit.
Yeah. And you caught a 5 on it.
I did.
That was a good tournament.
That was a good tournament. We just barely missed out.
We got second, I think.
Ryan, yes, do it. Yeah, we did. We barely lost out to David Roy.
I think it was 2 ounces.
Yeah, something like that. But out of all the people to lose to, I mean, I don't care about
I'm happy
losing
we
to
lost to him.
but yeah, we're really tight with David, so it was cool to see him win.
Yeah.
I think he had Lunker too. I think we barely did I get Lunker? No, we barely missed out on Lunker. He got first and Lunker that year.
Yeah.
I forget what that 5 was. I think it was 502 or something like that. That was a low 5. It's all that matters. One Lunker. That's also what matters. So those are the first 3 tips. Trying to think. There was something else I really wanted to talk about in this. I don't know. What else you got? This is a good time to ask any questions, too.
I don't...
I mean, we covered...
Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
That was it, really?
Yeah, something
cool.
along those lines. I kept going. My brain kept going back to pivoting, and that's a little bit different from what you said. Being able to go outside of your comfort zone and embrace doing something completely different. There's going to be times where even if you pre-fished or whatever, nothing's working. And I mean nothing. You've tried every bait you have confidence in. You've tried every area that you're positive they're going to be in. There are some days that you just got to go for broke and do something wildly different. And
I'm good at that.
Yes, you are. Whether it's a bait or a technique or a location, doesn't matter. If you're into hour 6 now and shit's just not working out, you need to embrace doing some really weird shit. And you need to embrace trying some areas that you would never even dream of trying at that time of the year in those conditions, that water temp, the whole 9 yards. There has been a handful of times where that has panned out for us for a fish or 2. And it's made all the difference because those are extreme situations where it's like, dude, we don't even have a limit, or dude, we really need a kicker. And
like dragging up a wall?
Correct. And it's worked. Just trying to think of completely outside the box because we embrace that. And yes, we all want to know and think that we know that we have all the answers and we can figure everything out without issue. There are going to be times where none of that matters for shit. And you're going to be out there and you're not going to have any damn answers. And you have to force an answer. You have to create your own answer. You have to define something new that's never been defined before. That's the way I look at it. And if you can't be comfortable with that, then I don't know what to tell you, because there are going to be times where that's extremely important to help find success in the last hours of the day. We embrace that because we love to. And there's nothing more satisfying than being in that desperate situation. Like, dude, fuck this. We can't figure a goddamn thing out. None of this works. It's stupid. Now you're like maximum frustration level. Like, this just sucks. We can't figure anything out. And vast majority
hit this,
of the time,
man.
vast majority of the time, he'd be like, let's just go do this. And I'll be like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense, but let's go because none of this is working. And it works. Because that's the most important thing. Just being open-minded and getting completely away from everything you ever thought you knew or you thought you could know and just doing something so just wild. And it pans out.
Done some weird shit on the water.
Yes, you have. It's helped me embrace the weirdness.
I just remember that first time on Sunset when I was throwing that jig with like all crazy colors, and I was absolutely slapping them around, and you guys were like, "What the hell are you throwing?"
Oh my god, dude, that was so long ago. That was like 2014.
Or longer.
Maybe 2013. 2012, 2013. Oh god, that was with Casey.
No, I was with Josh.
Was that with Josh? No, yeah, you're right. Sorry. You, me, and Josh.
That's when I was like half living with him at his parents.
Dude, that may have been 2011, 2012. Somewhere in that window. That was a long time ago because it was like years before I even started making videos. So this is going way back to when I knew nothing, but I was starting to learn. And I thought I started to know a lot. And I remember you showing up at that, and I'm like, this is dumb. That ain't going to work.
Boom, 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 boom. Fish after fish after fish after fish after fish. And I was like, why aren't you guys catching these? And I was hung over that day. I remember that. Oh, boy.
Grat, when nothing else works, skip docks because it's fun. Yep. And I'll skip them with Senkos when nothing else is working. 2 tournaments where that literally was the difference of not having a limit and having the limit at the end of the day. Got pure desperation mode. And one of those, the second time that happened was that year you were sicker than a dog.
Oh, dude, that was terrible.
Yeah. He slept on the boat for an hour and a half, something like that during the tournament. That's how sick he was. And I remember telling him that like after the first hour, and he's like swaying and spotting. I'm like, dude.
I caught a 250, a jig fish and a 250 fish, and then I continue.
Yep. I was like, dude, you just need to go to sleep. And he was like, no, man, I can't because we're in this tournament. We got to do it. I was like, no, go to sleep because you're fucking miserable and you cannot function the way you are. And I'd rather just sit here and beat the piss out of this bank while we can for the next hour while you sleep with the chance you might feel better. Like, forget the tournament. I just want you to feel better. I remember saying that. I really didn't care about the tournament. I cared about him. Dude, he was It was bad.
I
He
don't.
was sick.
I don't get sick. And when I'm sick, I just kind of shrug it off. I was sick. Like
When we woke up in the morning, he slept on the couch. He knew he was sick, so he stayed away from everybody. And our buddy John was up there with us, and he came down just joking around. He was like, "How'd you sleep, Pumpkin? You feeling okay?" And like gingerly put his hand to his head. He's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, you all right?" like went from joking to instant concern because you had a hell of a fever. And it helped. You were at least like, you didn't look like you wanted to curl up into a ball and die the rest of the day, but you still weren't great, but it helped.
you hooked into. I was dead asleep. Go ahead, you tell it. You were awake for this. I wasn't. I wasn't really mentally there.
You tell it.
So I was dead asleep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was dead asleep. This was probably like a half an hour into you sleeping, because you did go back to sleep after this.
I did for a little bit.
And it was weird, though. Like, anyway, there's a couple of things going on. We thought something was going to work. It wasn't really panning out. So while he was sleeping, I'm like, okay, well, what can I do differently in this spot? Because it was really windy that day, and we were in one spot that there was no wind. So I was like, this works. I'm going to let him sleep, and I'll figure something out. And it was shallow, some moderately heavy vegetation. I'm like, I'm going to pick up spinnerbait. Dude, I got trucked by the smallest bass I've ever been trucked by. And I set the hook, and it sounded like I hooked a tank. And I didn't even get to say anything. It was just the sound of my hook set, and he was just like, snapped up. He's like, "Oh, get the net!" From a dead sleep.
I think I was legitimately dreaming. And then I heard that, and I just jumped up and grabbed the net. And it was like a 12-inch bass. Oh, man.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious.
There's a number of starred comments from Chris I'm going to grab here. Tony,
Yes.
anyone try the Credge yet?
I have. Multiple times. It's too fast for right now.
That's the biggest gripe I have with that after watching you fish it. That thing sinks like a rock.
It does. But summer, I think it's going to be a game changer. Not a game changer, but I think it's going to work really well for those suspended smallies and largies.
I absolutely agree. Cold water, not as effective as I thought it was going to be because it just sinks way too fast.
I thought it was going to have like a really moderate kind of slow sink, but it actually like, you got to like work it up and then let it sink back down. And it drops pretty quick. I don't know if there's different weights, but I think I got the half ounce. I believe they're half ounce. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they're half ounce.
I'll have
But
to
it's
look into
just
that too.
it's just super heavy, and it sinks way too fast for this cold water right now. I mean, maybe deeper if you're like down like 40, 50 feet, you may be able to control it a little better. But
So
what?
you know exactly where I'm thinking of because you're thinking of the same exact spot where that's probably going to be effective. One of our favorite spots, not in this state. You know what I'm talking
I was thinking Champlain.
Both places,
But
but
yes.
specifically that spot,
Yes. Yep.
a little bit
yep,
later in the year
Yep.
when they're
yes.
out there and fish it like a spoon. I mean,
Yep.
snap it up. Because when it falls, it just kind of rolls and shimmies. And if you can shoot that thing up 15 feet and then let it rock all the way back down out in that 55-foot water,
That could be a lot of fun.
oh boy,
We're trying it.
that could be stupid good.
I got a few of them, so
The guy that we finished second to, so it was Jody and then Ethan, and then us at the Berkshire. So he was just out at a spot out there, caught a 6 smallie.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The water's cold too. I was stoked for him. He had a bag, dude.
Steve
He had
crushed
a
it this
bag.
past weekend.
Where'd he go?
Can't tell you because I don't even know where it is. He won't tell
Oh,
me.
okay. That's fine. I wasn't sure if it was like a big lake that we knew or
No,
a little
it's.
lake.
I think it's some small little place, but he cracked him pretty good this weekend.
Numbers or just quality?
He said he got like 16, 17 pounds or something like that. It's not terrible.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Take that.
38 degrees.
I was thinking you give me the impression he had like a 20-plus pound bag.
No, but he was fishing. He said the water was 38 degrees.
Gotcha. Michael Bradley, did you see the action on the 7-inch Demiki armor shad? Thing looks sweet on a straight retrieve. I did. That's sick. I really like the idea of that, especially with it being a bigger thing. And on that topic, did you see that Working Class Zero just released a Citizen 9-inch? Yeah. Saw that and I was like, ooh, Andrew needs that. Dude, it looks so good.
I need that in 6 months. Stat.
Yep.
Does it fall like a spy bait? I am not 100% sure because I didn't really let it sink next to the boat just to see its action. So I cannot really speak to that.
I'm really perplexed by this. What's the most expensive Senko bait do you use? JDM brand? Is this joking or is this real? Most expensive Senko bait you use or just like single? What did you mean, Rich? Rich, I need clarity. Help. Tell me what you mean. I actually need to find that to see if you already elaborated below that.
Expensive Senkos? No thanks.
No, I don't use expensive Senkos. Well, that's why I'm curious. Like, I mean, most expensive Senko bait you use?
Probably Yamamoto's.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, they work great. They're expensive per bag, but then they tear like after one fish and you just rip through them as good as they can be. Yeah, like DJ said, drop a like. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have. It's just this glitch with YouTube for like the last 2 months. It's persisting where it's not actively updating during the stream. But the moment the stream ends, it's just going to shoot straight up and account for all the ones that it didn't show while this was live. Well, let's take that comment and just talk about it from the perspective of what's the most expensive bait that we have. And I'm probably going to have to say my shad glide. My bull shad 9-inch shad glide because it was $225, and it's worth every penny. It's one of the slowest sinking big glides that I own. It's one of the best yellow perch patterns I've ever seen, and it's just a damn good bait. It glides so beautifully, so beautifully.
I don't even know.
Have you paid more than $225 for anything? But what?
The 303,
Oh, how much was that?
$250.
$250.
But I'm not like those guys that go out to buy super expensive baits just to flip them. Like, I buy a bait, I'm going to use it. Like, I'm going to use it till it breaks or until I lose it. I don't sell baits. So going out and spending $300-$400 for a bait to flip it for $1,200, that's great. But do you even fish, bro? Like,
Right.
come on.
Kevin, trick shad is the 7-inch or 7.5. The shad glide is a 9. Well, I think they advertise as the 9-inch, but it's like 9 3/4. It's almost the exact same length as my depth 250.
You know what's actually pretty messed up?
What?
I still haven't even fished my glide, my Buka glide.
I know. I keep telling you every year when we go out. I'm like,
I
would
just
you fish
haven't.
that?
I just haven't. I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't.
Didn't you get a golden shiner color too? Something like that?
I got a shad color,
Yeah, you should be throwing that.
like a bait fish shad. It's just beautiful.
Dude, to me, it's like the same as the depths in the sense of how easily it works and how slow sinking it is.
I don't even know why I haven't thrown it yet. It's just
I don't either. I keep questioning.
I picked the
myself.
250 up. Like, I know this works, and I know all the other glides work. I just haven't picked it up to throw it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it next weekend.
There you
We'll
go.
see.
Did we? Oh yeah, we already addressed that one, so that's gone. There was something else. Oh, Boss Hog.
Hossbog.
Heading to Grand Isle to watch the eclipse and fish all week. Any advice
cool.
on depth range to start looking? Oh God. I tell you what, if I were gonna go up there right now,
2 to
Champlain,
60.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been hearing some wild things about people finding fish really shallow, but most of these places are like smaller, shallower bodies of water. If I went up to Champlain right now, I'd probably start at 30 feet, and I'd pivot either way from there. I'd go from 30 up to 20, and then I'd go from 30 down to 50. But I would start.
I would
30
even say up to 10 feet.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what the water temp is where you go up there. Like, I do know, I'm pretty sure I just heard from somebody said it was only 38 degrees up there still on the northern end.
Well, I know some of this past weekend that was catching them in 10 feet.
Dope.
So, and I get a lot of information at work. So,
Couldn't have just said that. 10 feet, not because I think it, because I was told it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Even for smallies? Mm-hmm. No shit. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, don't listen to me then.
They're starting to move up. I mean, water temp is water temp. Days are getting longer. Days are getting longer. The sun's up longer. The fish will move up. even if the water temp's still cold. They're starting to move. So,
yep. Kevin, temp is 41, stacked in 25 to 30. Wind, please play nice for me on Sunday. As much as I would love to go to Candlewood, with all the boat traffic I know it's going to be down there, I'd rather go to Champlain. That's what I'm going to do. Kevin, keep me out posted on what you know about snow up there, please. Oh, I should reach out to James and see if he's going up this weekend.
D'Ambrosio?
Yeah. I mean, if he's going up, then... Oh, no, not him. David Morissette.
Oh, yeah.
I reach out to Dave, just be like, all right, man, please tell me there's a boat launch up there that's accessible still. It actually doesn't look like the snow extended up to Champlain.
I don't think it did either. I think it's like tie, and that's it.
Yeah. So I will have a probably gross drive the whole way up, just because it's still going to be wetter than wet. But at least when I get there, I know I'll be able to get out, as long as the wind doesn't screw me. Because the last 2 times I wanted to go up there, it was blowing, I forget, some ungodly speed out of the north, or like a pretty still moderate speed out of the south. And either way, you just don't mess with that on Champlain. That'll kick your teeth in.
Sure will. It sucks.
Yep.
4 to 5 feet south of the bridge.
Stacked everywhere. I don't know the south end. It doesn't count. I'm not to be held accountable for that. Oh, I tell you what, though. I think, Bo Potato, I think we're going to be up there in July. Sorry, when I say we, I don't mean you. One of our subscribers reached out and asked if I wanted to fish the one of those Bass Federation tournaments.
Oh, sick.
With him on the Ticonderoga event in July. And I was like,
that could be fun.
So we had talked earlier this week or last week, and I kind of forgot about it for a few days because I was busy with work. I was thinking about it again today, and I looked at my schedule. I was like, I don't have anything planned in July. I've got 2 in June, but I think I'm going to drop one of those. The very first one I had on my schedule was the BFL in Oneida. I think I'm going to drop that instead and fish the 2-day Bass Federation with this guy up on Champlain at a tie.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
Spinnerbait, chatterbait, jig,
all the moving baits, big jig,
glide baits.
frog.
I wouldn't throw glide baits. Expensive glide baits.
I got some cheap ones.
Cool.
But I also I actually got some of those jackhammers everybody was talking about in the last show. Those $10 ones from Z-Man. I bought some. I bought 6.
I bought some 6.
I bought them for when we go up in May.
Okay.
Because you're going to be there the first 2 days, so I got some of the $10 ones. Everybody kept saying that they're the exact same thing as a jackhammer. So I was like, screw it. So I got 2 each of 3 different colors for a total of 6. And they're all 3/8 ounce. And I was like, screw it. You know, if I lose into a pike, yeah, $10 a pop still kind of sucks, but it's not as bad as $17 a pop. So there's that.
Kind of excited to try them, actually.
I am too. They literally look the same, except for the bait keeper feature. But other than that, the blade and everything, it looks identical. So I think they're gonna be the same. Ryan said he's still got 4 discount codes up for grabs. Get to him if you guys want something.
Get
from him.
on it.
Figure it out.
Gosh darn it. Dag nabbit.
Carl, can I hate that I hate the effing wind? Yes, you can. Mark, are the Vermont lakes ice-free? Last I heard they were. Yes, sir, and they've been ice-free for like 2 weeks now. The only issue, obviously, being the snow. Have to work around that. I am curious where that snow line is going to be, because this looked like I'm not really sure. Not really sure what's going to happen. We're going to have to reach out to like Kevin, who's very local to a spot that we all know and love. A couple other people for some other key areas. Figure it out. Yes, the Evo, Alec. Thank you. Evo. Smalley's like them too. Good. I like it. That's what I like to hear.
Sick.
2 tournaments going to Squance this Sunday. And that's why I just don't go to Candlewood. As much as I'd love to, that place just gets hammered to death with tournaments, and they start so early. So it's tough. It's like there's a window of when the water comes up after they like stop pulling water out. And there's like a 2-week, maybe 3-week window, I feel like, from the moment the water's high enough you can launch a bass boat in there again to first tournament. And it just immediately becomes way too busy for my liking.
I'm going to message Ryan real quick because I want to figure out what the frig is going on with that.
He texted me. I can tell you what he was talking about. For the discount code? $2 discount on the rods.
Oh.
Is good.
Yeah, that's dope. I don't know why you guys aren't getting on that.
Reach
That's
out to
actually a really, really good deal.
Boat potato. Greenbush probably pushed 75 boats and no plunder. Probably. Yeah, I'd think so. It's going to be a good event up there. That's for damn sure. It's going to be busy. I'm excited. I'm going to give it a shot. Be different not fishing with you. That's okay. We got Newfound in June.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
We need to pre-fish that one, though.
Dude, I was this close to taking Monday off, the 1st, just so I could go up there. Because I'm actually really itching to get back on that lake.
I know. It's been way too long.
It really has.
It's been like 4 years.
I think we fished it once in the last 4 years. No, twice. Because it was almost 4 years ago was that day in the wind. And we crushed all the jerkbaits and everything.
The kayak drowning.
Yep, that event. And then we went one more time after that, and that's when we started. Actually, we may have gone 2 more times after that. Definitely once, maybe another time. And neither one was great. Maybe I went alone, or I went with Kristen for that second time. It was just very underwhelming.
We went up with Dean once, too.
That I think that was the other time then. That's right. We did do that. Anyway, I'm excited for that tournament. Doesn't matter. It's going to be good. 2 tournaments going out of squants every day. That sucks. I don't want to hear that. There it is. Dan, Shaq has an absolutely sick amount of inventory stop in. I just realized that I never once shared the Shopify code. Bear with me because if memory serves correct, I'm just going to put it in the comments and pin it and leave it there. But I do believe, yeah, it's in the video description. Whether you're watching, actually, it should be there on Facebook too. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm pretty sure it's still in there too. But it's definitely there on YouTube, so you can always grab that there. My apologies. I meant to do that earlier, and I blame Chris. He didn't remind me. But Shaq has absolutely sick amount of inventory stop in. Yes, Dan, thank you very much. We actually covered that at the beginning of the stream, telling people all about me getting back with Luz for reels, and obviously still with Douglas for our rods, and how you carry them both down there. So whether people want to go actually look at these things and get their hands on them and touch them, feel them, test them out, you can go down there to Ben's Tackle Shack in Leicester, Mass. Give them a shout.
They're sick.
So good.
For the price, can't beat it.
Yeah. Dropman, are you fishing Thayer's Trail? No. All right, tell you what. I took a picture because I have a grease board over there, but I'm not going to go get it because I'm probably going to knock stuff down. So I will tell you guys, for anybody that cares, what I am doing. So I'm going to nuke that one. So June 30th, New Hampshire Bass Nation, Newfound, team event. August 17th, there's a BFL in Champlain, doing that solo. Got to back one up. And then in July, there's the New Hampshire Bass Federation's Summer Open at a Ticonderoga. That's a Saturday-Sunday event, so we'll be doing that. Then again, August 17th, got the BFL. Fairly tentative on this, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. August 23rd and 24th, a Friday, Saturday, the ABA Top 150. It's a solo event, but 2-day up on Champlain. I like my chances.
That could be fun. Can you bring someone on to... No, never mind.
To film? You're not going to want to film all day.
Nobody can hang out.
You could. I'm actually curious. I'll have to ask them. But it's a Friday, Saturday.
All right,
Excuse me.
I won't be able to go.
This one I'm most excited about. Out of all of these, this one I'm happiest about. September 14th and 15th is the New Hampshire State Team Qualifying Tournament. New Hampshire Bass Nation State Team Qualifying Tournament. I have been wanting to fish this for the last 5 or 6 years. And I forget what happened before I started coaching. I didn't do it. I think I may have just backed myself out because I just wasn't quite confident in it. And then the 4 years I coached for the high school stuff, I couldn't because there was always overlapping. And it was just way too much of a pain in the ass to try and get both of those things done. And then last year, I couldn't because I was away on my family vacation the exact same time that they had the STQ team. So I just couldn't. And I booked my family vacation down to Florida like a year before. So I had no idea. We booked it before they even announced it. But definitely doing that. That's up on Champlain as well, Saturday, Sunday. And then last but not least, October 12th and 13th is the Berkshire Fall Classic. Even though he can't do it, one of our buddies, good buddies, Tom, Smallmouth Freaks on Instagram, he's going to fish it with me.
I'm going to be at a wedding.
Stupid wedding.
Hey.
You should ask them to move it. I'm sure they'd be very understanding.
I've known them for 30 years.
Hey, can you guys move your wedding so I can go fish a tournament?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that tournament, too, because it's the last tournament of living up here. And I'm literally leaving like a few days after that.
Yep.
So Unfortunately, I will not be fishing the Berkshire tournament this year, but I wish you guys the best of luck and get that win.
Well, we got the Newfound, and we can squeeze in probably a couple of MVBAs.
Oh, yeah.
One or two of those.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Because those are cheap, and they're quick and easy to get to. Oh, are you going to leave the one where we went and we won? Smallmouth Hustler? They're doing it again. It's a Sunday event. But I think it might be the weekend after the Berkshire. So the weekend you would be leaving.
I'd probably be gone by then.
I'll have to double check. I've got it written down somewhere. But that could be in there. I don't know. Burning season. You should do all 3 ABA top 150. So I debated doing that.
Okay, I need to go to the bathroom.
All right, go ahead. But it's a pretty expensive penny to do it. And I really, really, really want to do the BFL again because that's a pretty easy one, being a one-day event. And then the STQT, like, it's going to be some significant time put into that, plus the 2 days for the tournament itself. But I intend on doing a lot of scouting for that as well. I don't know. We'll see. What I was really thinking about doing was, like, the whole BFL trail. But I don't know. There's that one for the St. Lawrence River that's up at Messina, and I'm really not interested in fishing that section of the river. So I was like, never mind. It's good. Leave it alone. Brandon, put a 15-pound bag this week in Northern Illinois. Hell yeah, man. Good job. Oh, Dropman, I'm so glad you brought that up. Berkshire Bass hosts a tourney on candy as a charity event for police in Connecticut. I know about that event. I have to reach out and figure it out about that, find out the date, because I really wanted to do it the last 2 years, and I couldn't. I can't remember why, but I just could not make it to those. I would like to make it to that this year. So I'm going to see what I can do about that. And then, Ryan, if you end up fishing Oneida, let me know. There is still a pretty good chance I might come out and fish that. But if I do it, I might come in blind. I might do 1 day of scouting and then fish the rest and just fish it blind. 1 day scouting, like get in Thursday night, scout on Friday, fish the tournament Saturday, head home Saturday night. It's only like a 5 hour and 15-minute ride from my house to the ramp. So I can do that drive home, no problem. And then I only have to take 1 vacation day and I can make it work.
Friggin' A, right? You can.
F it. Let's do it. Do it all.
Whatever you said.
The year tournaments. Fish the Oneida BFL.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I mean, here's the thing. We could go up there and fun fish it before that. However, it's a 5 hour and 15-minute ride.
Boom.
If we're going to do that, that's too far for a day trip. That's a drive up late Saturday evening, find a place to stay, sleep, then get up kind of early, fish till like 3, then drive home to go to Oneida. However, it's Oneida. There's big fish in there.
There's giants.
There's giants. So
There's
like
giants.
for a 1 night stay up Saturday night and then drive home Sunday after done fishing, totally worth it. Hey man, if I can leave my house at 12:30 in the morning to be up on the St. Lawrence at 8 a.m. to fish to 6 p.m. and get back up and fish from 7 a.m. to 2 and drive home and be back in my house by 11 o'clock that next night, we can do an overnight to Oneida.
I'm keep buying one of those freaking backseat beds.
No, dude, you just got to get like a lumbar pillow support and then like that neck pillow thing that you use on planes.
Never used
And you'd be
one.
totally, I haven't.
I've never slept on a plane.
I tried. Trust me, I couldn't either. That was a red eye to London. It sucked.
I just don't because I'm always just like staring out the window all the time. I'm like, that's cool. It's so cool. Look how high I am. I've never been this high.
I got options. We'll do it. We won't be completely blind. That's true. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, ABAs are a little steep, 600. Not terrible, but it's still pretty expensive if you lump them all in. So, I don't know. We'll see. Figure it out. Dan wants me to do all 3 ABAs. Dan, if I do that, I got to drop some other tournaments.
Pay for them.
Gordon's doing all 3 ABAs, isn't he? All 3 top 150 solos? Let me double check the schedules and what I already planned on. Figure it out. My wife's going to kill me. You know how long it took me to make my decision on what I was going to do for tournaments this year? And then if I last minute come in and be like, so, about that. Scrap everything. We're starting from scratch. She's going to slap me.
She will.
It would be cool because they're solos. So you don't have to worry about co-anglers. So like, there's no co-anglers. It's literally just me and my own boat.
That's sick.
Yeah. Not that I don't mind fishing with a random. I've only done it one time, and it was up for the BFL last year, and it was great. Guy was awesome. We had a blast. So, I Figure it out. There's still plenty of time. Most important thing is, for absolutely sure, I don't have a tournament until June. So, the first one, if I do it, would be the Oneida BFL, and then immediately, so here's the thing about that. If I do the BFL in Oneida, it's literally the day before the Newfound tournament. So I have to fish it, turn around, drive home, get as much sleep as I can just for us to turn around and be back on the road to be up for Newfound for 6 a.m. You know I can do it.
Yeah, I know.
Ain't no doubt about it.
You do you, boo-boo.
Yes, actually, the ABA circuit for New Hampshire does exist. Someone was just talking about that the other day. But I forget what it's like, ABA D36 or something like that. I forget. I don't know. Yeah, you're not wrong about that burning season. All right, I'll tell you what. It's been good. It's been an hour and 15, almost an hour of which has been spent on topic, so I'm very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to wrap it up. It's been good.
This
was fun. We didn't even talk about weekend fishing report. It was terrible. We suck.
I was only out for like 4 hours, 3 hours.
3 hours. Four. We made it 4.
9. No, 3 because we got there at like 9:30.
Okay, you're right.
And we were
3
fishing
hours.
by 9:30, and I left at 12:30.
And I only caught 2 fish, and I didn't catch anything after you left. Nope. I did go back to that rock, and all those fish were still stacked there. By the way,
fucking
couldn't catch us, dude. I
bullshit.
threw everything at them for like a half an hour, and then nothing. It's weird. I'll have a fishing video up on Friday. There's some news. We'll actually have an actual damned fishing video up. Spoiler alert, there's only 2 catches. Good amount of talking.
It's a montage.
But it's going to be good. I promise. It's totally worth your time.
It'll be cool. I wish we would have recorded that active target bite that you got.
Oh, I know.
That would have been sick.
I have a memory card in there, but I need to figure out. Well, I couldn't figure it out in the settings. I might have to call Steve, or maybe I'll just call Lawrence and be like, look, I put like a 256 gig card in there. And when I record, I want it to default to that. How do I do that? And I could not figure out in the settings how to default to that memory card.
No, I don't know.
Because if I do that, I record all day.
Might be under storage or something.
I'll have to figure it out.
But anyway,
Send her off.
we're friggin' done here tonight. We're getting shitty weather outside. The drive home's probably going to blow. But anyway, we will see you guys next week, as always, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/@Reel Nothern Bass, REEL. We love you all. Good night, guys.
My wife said stop it right now about the tournaments, by the way. So I was right. And she sent me a gif of Stewie slapping the bear.
Mommy, Mama.
Have a good night, everybody.
Adios, muchachos.